Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another AFL Fantasy Fanatics Tuesday night Q&A for the final time of the 2025 AFL Fantasy season with round 24 upon us. I'm your host, Bales, and you can find me at BAILSDT across the socials, and joining me are a couple of my fellow co-hosts in AFL Fantasy Fanatics. I'll start off with Jordox. Jordox, mate, how are you? How was your weekend? I'm sure it was a pretty good Saturday night, my friend.
Yes, Saturday night was fantastic. The days following, not as good, but we won't go there. But no, doing well. Can't believe this is the last one for the year, fellas. It's crazy how quick the season goes, and I'll miss it when it's gone. But I'm also looking forward to a breather, which will be nice as well.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. I think you're either like that or you're sort of real stressing about, can I get top 10, top 100, whatever your goal is. Maybe you're stressing about that, but hopefully you guys
I'm in a couple of grand finals, dream team and my keeper league, so there's plenty to play for this week, that's for sure.
So you're in the GF of that, your big draft league over on RDT, because you're in the prelim.
It's classic RDT head-to-head league. Yep. It's going to be big. I'm going for back-to-back, and I'm in my home keeper league grand final as well. Come on.
Yeah, beautiful. Good luck, mate. And Jordy is on once again with us. Jordy, mate, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Same really from Sunday. Looking for the last week. Rank is 253, so I'm hoping to hold top 300, maybe top 200. We'll see how we go. But exactly. Top 300, I'll be pretty happy with if we can stick with that.
When you said I'm the same, I thought you were you enjoyed Saturday night, and I was going to say, hang on, you go for Crows now. So,
it was a good game. I'll give you that. Very good game. I watched it. Yeah, brilliant.
Very, very good game of footy. As I said on Sunday, but I've said to people when I've chatted about the game, there was the feeling of happiness, relief, and a little side of nausea, because it was certainly a stressful last couple of minutes. That's for sure. But, George, we didn't get a recap from you, obviously, with your classic team from the weekend. So what did you score? What's your round rank and overall rank?
So it scored 2308. Not sure what round rank was, but crept about 500 spots in the right direction. So I am now at 7598 for the overall.
Nearly Guesty. Nearly caught Guesty.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I'll have to hunt him down this week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did that trades this week, me and Guesty, like not talking to each other about it. We just happened to both do the same trades, which was good.
There you go. Plus minus 3?
Well, plus 3. I mean, brought in Tristan Sherry instead of an English or a Gorn, and was very well rewarded. I think it's probably the most points I've got from a trade in this year, and the fact that a lot of people would have gone the other direction, it was good for me. So he can get my plus 3.
I can see Jordy in his head going, well, I brought in Harry Sheasel, so I got 186. So top that.
Maybe. That's also pretty good. -3. This is going to be controversial. It's you guys are going to say, no, you can't do it. But I finally found enough money to bring in.
He's going to
Miller.
No. It's fair enough. You get the -3. Yeah.
And he's not leaving for the Crows as well. So it's a double whack from Naz. It was pretty funny because I think he played first. So I did the cheaper ruck so I could finally get Naz. Naz hits 81. And I'm like, well, that's my own fault. But then Sherry doubles it. So it's like, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah. But see, and the other thing, just a point on, you told the Nasai thing, right? People saw me on Sunday night and I was pretty up and about it, before we'd heard all the other stuff which going on, which we're not going to touch on. But obviously hearing that the night before that on the Cypher's leaning toward join the Crows, I was up and about. The Crows had won. We're top of ladder. Naz is going to join us. Dawson's going to get the Brownlow. Curtin's going to get the Rising Star. And I think, here we go. And then, it's he signs a contract, and then it all.
It's good. I'm glad. It's good for Saints.
It's great. It's great for St Kilda. Great for St Kilda, right? Because the thing is, obviously, I'm talking from a Crows point of view, right? But if you're looking at St Kilda, I lost Naz. That's a big loss. But now they're going to get TJ coming in. Saints fans are going to be angry at him coming in on big money and then losing Naz, and then they might apparently Liam Rhino reports they might be joining Saints, and it's like maybe it gets things started for them, and they'll go on a good run, a bit like Brisbane when they brought in a few big names when Fagan started, and then they build that. So who knows?
Just being a Crows fan as we are, Bales, we've seen players pulled from our side. It's just heartbreaking. So it's nice to see him staying, and much better than the other option, which was him joining the bastards across town. Isn't that right, Jordy?
I just still that deal that we offered was crazy money for Port, and it's got me wondering what's the go with our list and all that. So yeah, craziness.
Oh no, yeah, you'll be right.
The thing that makes me laugh is lastly also because we'll get on to a couple of super chats there. We'll get to all your questions because I'm sure you guys got grand finals in leagues to deal with and rankings and stuff.
Yeah.
But the one thing I like about obviously not only Jordy's jumped on the podcast issue, but obviously messaging him a lot more. I like how it's short and sharp, sort of to the point, like bad Ashy or like good Ashy, or it'll be like he sent me the link to that article of Naz looking at Crows, and he just says no. Like that's it. He's like, no. I thought it was quite funny, and I just replied.
Words.
Yeah, I replied yes. So, and then he replied back no. So we just kept going yes, no. So that was quite funny. T.R. Shaw's got a couple of super chats here. Thank you, mate. He said, "When's the Patreon Cup rankings? That'll be out during the week, mate. Don't worry." And he said, "Can do McRae to Manor, but can't get Goulden." And then he also said, "Jordox and Jordy, what's your grand final prediction?" Which he asked us on Sunday night. So we'll answer that shortly. But Jordy, McRae to Manor, I think we agree is a good trade, but can't get Goulden.
Yep.
Do you think that this is a place where Tim gets a cheaper forward to get Goulden and maybe get two good players, or do you think there's a cheaper alternative to an Errol Goulden that you go Manor and Errol? Because I know you messaged me about some things that X was saying on Selby's pod early in the week.
Yeah, I've sort of called on Goulden a little bit. I'm coming around to Heaney being a better option, but he's obviously more money. I just think Goulden, he's only popped that one big one against Essendon. And other than that, he's sitting at that 80-90. And I think we're just expecting him to just go massive against West Coast. But, like, the form isn't really there. And apparently, I mean, I didn't catch the game, but I think he's playing a bit more forward than actual wing. So maybe he doesn't have the role. So I'm interested to dissect that because I think a lot of people are thinking he's just going to go massive. So I think if Tim, there's probably like I'm still pretty interested in Butters. I'm not sure whether he's got Butters. Yeah. I guess below that. I mean, could you go Zorko? I don't know if he's got Zorko. That's a guy that bit of a risk.
No, he doesn't have Zorko. Yeah, he doesn't have Zorko. Could go Hewitt. Super Hewitt.
Ash. Does he have Ash?
Nope. Could go Super Huey, who's got the Bombers.
Yeah. I mean, and I assume he's got Jesse Cameron if he didn't want to go Manor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would.
Could go. The one he could go for, Tim, obviously we'll see what you can do, but could you go for Chad Warner? He doesn't have Chad Warner. Could you go Chad Warner and Errol Goulden? I don't mind that. Or Isaac Heaney if you want to go for Heaney instead. So that could be something you look for, Tim. But as I said, I'll be able to have a look at your team in the Patreon Cup rankings and give you a better answer. But yeah, like if you go Manor and you go like a Hewitt or an Ash or something like that, or a Zorka that's cheaper, that's fine. But then if you go and can get like a Warner and a Goulden or a Heaney, you could definitely look at doing something like that. But yeah, want to get your boys' thoughts on it because Tim did ask us the other night, grand final prediction, who you reckon the two teams will be in there. So Jordy, I'll start with you, then I'll go to Jordox. Who do you think will be there on grand final day?
Yeah, I think Saturday night I said Crows and Brisbane.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'll stick with that.
Yep.
And
Why?
I know.
No, don't forget. Don't mind me. I
Crows
don't know
and
why. I was going to give mine as well, but I forgot me and you were on Sunday night. So George was the only one he was asking for. So who'd you say Sunday night? Crows and who?
Crows and Brisbane.
Yeah. And Jordox, how do you reckon? What do you think on that?
Well, I don't like to put the Moz, so I don't like to say the Crows, but I guess
I didn't. I also said Brisbane and Geelong because I don't want to jinx it. But I said if I honestly want to say what I hope happens, I hope it's Crows and Geelong or Crows and Brisbane or something.
Yeah. Crows Cats, I reckon, could happen, and I really got my best mate goes for Cats. It just would be not pleasant. No, I reckon Jordy. Crows Lions. I mean, Lions. You know, they haven't quite hit their straps for the season. I reckon they could do that in September and get there.
Yeah,
we'll go Brisbane, Adelaide.
Yeah, there's a few teams that could certainly be there. That is for sure. Tim also said he could look at going McKercher to Ash or Zorko. That could be that would be the trade he's looking at. You could definitely look at doing something like that. Ash should be the one I'll probably go for, the easier matchup, I think, against the Saints. But yeah, let's go through the listener questions. So if you guys are tuning in live, obviously the numbers aren't as high because obviously a few people have checked out. But if you are tuning in live, there's a very good chance we'll probably be able to answer your question because we'll be able to probably get to a lot of questions that you guys are asking tonight. So chuck them in live chat and we'll answer hopefully all of them or as many as we can at least. So Kalen Fife has got the first question and he says, trade Andrew Brayshaw to Noah Anderson. Or, okay, I've got to ask Joy this one because he's literally listed 3 of his favourites. He's like, trade Andrew Brayshaw to Anderson or Ash or trade Luke Jackson to Jeremy Cameron. First trade is McRae out to one of the Geelong forwards. So, Jordy, it's going to be a tough question to answer because you've got your boy Nando, Ashy, and the Unicorn. Where do you lean here for Caleb?
Yeah, geez. I've sort of, with Brayshaw, it's hard to figure out what he's doing, but it's a mini elimination final. So I feel like he's going to bounce back. Is he going to finally get that ton out of that 10 weeks? So I don't know what the difference, obviously I love Noah Anderson, but I feel like the difference between those two might not be as much. Jackson is interesting because he comes up against English this week, but he's sort of been playing a different role. So they're using Darcy a lot more time in the ruck. So I wonder, are they going to go back to Jackson actually being the main ruck to combat English? Because English sort of works around the ground a lot more. And that's sort of what Jackson can do. So I don't know. It's tough because you probably can potentially get more points from the Jackson trade. What was the option for Jackson? Sorry again, Bales?
Jezza.
Yeah. I guess
he's going McRae to one of the Geelong forwards. So it could be could you go like McRae to Cameron and then go Brayshaw? Sorry, McRae to Cameron and then go like Jackson to a Myers or a Manor and get a couple of the Geelong forwards in? Or is it just... So as you say, I feel like Brayshaw and Anderson this week, like what if Drew goes to Anderson?
Yeah.
Like, Port are going to do everything they can to beat Gold Coast because I wouldn't be shocked if Port got it done. Final game for Ken, final game for Boakey, final game at Adelaide Oval and big crowd, I would imagine, there to send them off. I could just see Port, this is a banana skin game for Gold Coast. Last time they're at Adelaide Oval, they didn't show up in the first half. So I don't know. It could be a bit of a banana skin one and Drew goes to Anderson.
Yep. So I'm going to lean towards the Jackson one, I reckon, to the 2 Geelong forwards.
I think so as well. I think McRae's got to go. 55% time on ground, not good enough, and wouldn't be shocked if he was even sub as well, to be quite honest, this week. So, yep, I agree with that one. Matt's got the next one. Should I trade McCarthy and bench a rookie to Manor, Goulden, or Heaney and a 230k defender? A 230k, I'm assuming defender, that is, defender red dot, which allows me to loop Brayshaw with Rosie, or should I trade Brayshaw and Rosie to Manor and Goulden and not loot? So I know Jordox that there's a bit going on here, and I'll put it up on the screen for you. So
good man.
These are super chats, but I know that Jordox needs to read this. So where would you be looping? Where would you be going with Matt's option here?
I like the idea that you can loop those guys. Maybe the first one. I don't have any confidence in trading Bray, Rosie, and for Manor and Goulden and getting a good increase in points. I reckon the first one. McCarthy's been great, and he'll probably put up another 80, but it's more logical to trade him than the other guys. Yeah, I think you can loop the one. You can loop the primos you're worried about anyway in Brayshaw and Rosie.
I think it's definitely the first option. You go McCarthy up to one of those 3, and then you're looping Rosie Friday night. And if he fails, you play Brayshaw and you're living between those two, and you're getting a good player. And so who would you pick there out of Sean Manor, Errol Gould, and Isaac Heaney? Because all have got good matchups and could all pop a ceiling score.
I actually think I'm Manor quite quickly over the other two, which who would have thought that at the start of the year? Manor over Goulden and Heaney. My goodness. But I don't know. I fear that West Coast, not fear, but like for those investing in Swans, 2 weeks ago, the Crows went over to Perth and didn't get much going in the way of fantasy scores, and it was a close game. Now, the Bulldogs smashed them down here in Melbourne, but they're back in Perth this week against the Swans. I'd be more inclined to chase Cats for the matchup than chase Swans this week.
Yeah. I sort of feel like West Coast played their really good game against the Crows, and they might get a bit of not toweling up, but another heavy defeat against Sydney, because Sydney are also playing for pride and some momentum going into next year. They don't want to have a average performance against West Coast to finish the year after losing to Geelong. So I'm actually,
I don't think West Coast will beat them. I just mean it just might not be the fantasy we think it will.
Yeah, because I've been Goulden out of those three all week. He was first in for Caleb Daniel when I did trades, but the more I'm looking at, the more I'm almost leaning to Isaac Heaney, because I'm like, I just don't know who from West Coast can stop him. Like, Heaney has looked incredible. Mark O'Connor was in a great matchup, and again, it doesn't shock us that Geelong are very well coached and they find a way all the time. Like, Mark O'Connor's a very good defender and then can tag a midfielder, and great matchup for Heaney. But I just don't see a guy like Brady Hoff could do that job, but Heaney's a bit of a different level, the way he's been playing. So, like, I think I'm probably still Goulden just, but I'll tell you what, Heaney and Manor. If I had three trades, I'd bring all three in, which makes it hard. So, but Jordy, do you want to split it? Is there someone that you like there out of the three?
Yeah, again, it's hard, isn't it? I do agree with that. The 23rd option with the loop is the best one, because you can just loop, have a look, see how it's going instead of trading the two. There's a comment about Geelong, and Manor kicked 3 goals 3 on the weekend, and he was sort of the guy. Jezza had 0-1. Is there a world where that flips this week, and it's sort of Jezza, everything goes through Jezza, and Manor doesn't get on the end of a couple of goals, or do you think it's just going to be?
I'll say no, because it was Shannon Neal that I look at. He kicked 4, and he's suspended.
Good.
So Manor's more up the ground. So I actually think those with Jezza or looking at Jezza who are put off by the weekend, Neal's out of the way, and it'll be the Jezza show. And I think he'll have a good time, because Manor's not sort of playing as a key forward. He's just up the ground as that flanker. Yeah. He had 66 points in the last quarter on the weekend.
Won Nathan the Content Creators Cup Grand Final. If it wasn't for that 60-point last quarter, he wouldn't have won.
Incredible.
Yeah,
anyone
he's in form. Yeah. I'll go with that, I think.
Yeah. Matt also says, or could hold Brayshaw and Rosie and look to trade McKercher and Jackson, as I believe they're the only two players that I believe are a worry this week in the GF. So I think because we said we'd hold Rosie, Matt, what I would do is if Rosie goes well in the first game, you're going to take your score, I'd probably do the McKercher and Jackson moves out and go get a couple of Geelong forwards. But if Rosie doesn't get it done and you need that extra play like a Brayshaw, then I'd go for the first option, trading McCarthy out, because you might be able to have McCarthy's cover. So I hope that answers your question there, Matt. Lee Everett says, hey, boys, need help with anyone under 833K in any position who will score decent? So that is a very good question.
I got a couple.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was going to look quickly, but if you're already on the ball, go ahead. What do you got?
I'm actually coming around to Andy McGrath. He's
I like this.
He's 762. He's having real high CBAs at the moment. Even with Merritt back in the side, he still had 90% 2 weeks ago. And I think he could be a pretty good sneaky one. You could loop him. The other one is Travis Boak. Wines is out. But he's got 90. He's got 97, 103, and 90 in the last 3 weeks. He's going to play inside mid.
What was your retiring?
We've Port have got no one. We've got Butters, Rosie, Drew, and Boak. That'll be the midfield. maybe Jackson Mead's the fifth guy. I don't think there's anyone else. And Wines is out. So he's farewell, like he could be an option. He's a very risky, obviously.
Is it confirmed? Is Wines officially out? Like he's challenging it?
Well, they're challenging it,
yeah.
I wasn't sure if that had
Unsure.
Yeah, I don't think it's come through. But yes, we expect him to be missing unless he gets off. But yeah, no, I don't mind that. The one I do like actually is the Thill Seeker, Riley Thilthorpe against North Melbourne. I think that could be a big ceiling score potentially there. The only worry is I think he's playing a little bit sore at the moment after that hit from Duggan a couple of weeks ago. He seemed to be a little bit poppy on Saturday night with a bit of a.
I think if the Crows, I think if the Crows are in a commanding position,
he rests.
Adelaide have shown they've sub players. I'd be very wary of that.
That's a good point.
With Phil,
good point. Yeah. One other one that could just pop a ceiling score this week. Jake Lloyd is someone that could just put out a 120 here this week. Like he's been like 370s in a row, but I know he's had some big scores on the journey. He's had a couple hundreds. I just wouldn't be shocked. He's a sort of player that if you wanted to have a real punt, he could go quite big. I don't think I'd be ballsy enough to do it, but he's someone that you could consider.
I think if you're going to do this, if you can get someone playing the Thursday, Friday, and you can have a look first, that's what I think. Andy McGrath's the pick. That is such a great call.
Yeah, I think so.
You got Merritt back. Shield might be in that midfield too, but I think they like what he's doing in there, McGrath. And 130 last week, he was everywhere.
Yep, I like that shout. Definitely could look at that. Dylan Jones, hi, Bales. Remember how I kept Grundy? Sydney just released the injury report. Does it look like he's playing? Let me have a look.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything, but yet everything
else is a test and said Grundy looks likely to return for the final game of the season, although Peter Lunds would be unlucky to lose his spot after a strong showing against Geelong. I don't know, like, if you kept Grundy, you don't trade him, right? You hold him and keep him, right? But I don't know if I'd trade into him necessarily just with if Laddams is going to play final game of the season. Grundy's not really going to be probably busting his ass to get all those fantasy points like we normally would see.
He might want Australian.
I
feel like
he might want his jacket.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
I think if Laddams plays, I think Laddams holds. I think he was good enough that they'll play the two. And I think on that basis, Grundy's a VC, not a straight C this weekend. Yeah. Play Saturday night. So if you've got Sunday options, you could VC him.
Yeah, but Dylan, you're not trading him, but I think for people looking at him, if you've probably got English or Marshall or Gawn, I wouldn't be trading any of those two. I think it's probably you'd have to have the best players already for this week, and then you go, okay, well, let's have a stab at a big setting score. But Sneaker Fusion in the grand final this week for $100, pinch you to win. Who's the biggest trade out? Who's a priority trade out from Connor Rozee, Josh Dacos, Chris Petrarca, and Sam Darcy? And who am I going to? So again, probably hard for who to go to. I think we'll talk about some good. We've talked about some good options already. Hopefully, you don't have one of those, and you can look at them. But Rozee, Josh Dacos, Chris Petrarca, Sam Darcy. Jordy sent me some stats about Josh Dacos. So I'd seen his score from this year against Melbourne with a 128, but I didn't know his previous couple of scores. But I was going to leave him anyway on the bench on Friday. I think it's a free hit against Melbourne. I think he's a hold. And I'll get your thoughts, Jordan, on Josh Dacos in a sec. I think it's Rozee, Petrarca, or Darcy. And Jordan, I'll go to you now for this because I want your thoughts on Josh Dacos, but also with Connor Rozee. Listened to him on 5AA last night saying he was essentially saying, like, I'm not going to be a hand model anytime soon because it doesn't look too great. I just don't think he's going to put up a massive score if you trade because of he's just not doing everything that he was near because he probably can't with the hand injury, right? Like, he's able to play, but it's painful. It's a bit like a Lear, right? Lear is playing. He's not optimal level because he's had a knee injury, right? So I feel like he could be traded out. But who would you be trading out of these four? But just quickly let us know what Josh Dacos has done in his last three against Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. He's gone an average of over 130. So his last three, I'll just scroll up to our message. So, 128, 137, 130. So he obviously loves them. So you're definitely not trading him. I do agree with Rozee. I like him better at half back for fantasy, and he has to play midfield because we've got nobody else. Gold Coast are a better matchup, so I'm assuming he's going to be a bit better. But you could also loop him. I'm thinking it's Petrarca out here, depending on who you can get to. And I know Darcy hasn't put up many scores, but he's a player that could, if you want to take the risk, he could win you a grand final. And his last score against Freo was 128 in round 4 this year. It's a mini elimination final. I know he hasn't been great, but it's up to you if you want to take the risk. But if he puts out 100, that could be the difference to you winning, him winning that $100. So I think I'm Petrarca out, but it depends who you can get to.
Yeah. I feel like I'm slightly leaning towards actually Darcy out. And the only reason I'm saying is because, and I think this depends, Sneaker Fusion, on if you look at the uniques you've got, are you the favourite? I think if you're the favourite, I'd go Petrarca, who's got the higher floor, because he hasn't gone below 70 really, and he had more CBAs last week. He just didn't have the marks and tackles, right? Whereas Darcy, like Free, I've got a good defence still. Like I know they've obviously lost to Brisbane, but they've still got some good defenders there. I don't know. Norton's in great form. Like he's going to kick some goals. Well, I don't know if Darcy's going to put out a 120 in such a big game. That's my worry. But Jordox, your thoughts?
If you want a tiebreaker, I'm quite comfortably Darcy out. And I've just watched him the last couple of weeks. He's just not there. And like where he was, say, 6 weeks ago when we thought of him as an option in fantasy. And he costs more than Petrarca. So it makes sense to go Darcy up instead of Petrarca. And you can loop Petrarca, can't loop Darcy. Yeah, that's where I land.
Yeah, one of those two, I think the forwards that you're probably looking at trading out, I think. So, but as I said, if you need a big ceiling score, Darcy's probably the one that's likely to give you that one. So maybe that decides it for you. Shady Force says, "Hey fellas, good luck for your Crows. The Hawks will be hunting." Tell you what, I was looking at like the top 8 and going, who wouldn't I like to play in like, let's say first qualifying final, because there's literally every team can pretty much in the top 9 can still make 4th. I think, but like 1, right? Like Hawthorn, one of the teams I'm like, I don't want to play them first week. I don't want to play Hawthorn. Don't want to play Collingwood. Don't want to play Geelong. Don't want to play Brisbane. So like people are going to say, well, that means you don't want to play anyone, right? But no, like it feels like a lot of those teams are just, they're primed for some good September action, which I think makes this September really, really exciting. And we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Just feels good to be part of it for a change, instead of going, no, we're done for the season, and going,
been a long time.
Yeah, first time since I've been doing podcasting, so that's good. Bart Lowe says, "Hey guys, I've shown a Neil with the 1 week match ban. Do I go Rosie and Neil to one of 1 Callahan and Martin? I'm assuming that's Jack Martin there. 2 Took and Manor, or 3 Richards and Parker." So you got Callahan and Jack Martin, Took and Manor, Richards and Parker.
Different names. I like it.
I'm ruling out option 3 because Parker's got the Crows and Ed Richards was good, but he's got Freo this week, and I don't think he's got a consistent enough ceiling. I'm at the moment, I think I'm drawn to number 2. I think I like Miller, Took, Miller, and Manor. Like Took's been pretty good the last. I think he's turned up in his last 3. But if Callahan, Jack Martin could be the play as well, right? Where do you boys lean? I think I'm just 2 ahead of 1, but 1 and 2 are good. Jordox, where would you go?
I don't mind Parker. I mean, I think he can get enough ball to get a ton against the Crows. But I think I'm with you. Took Miller would be something a bit different. Maybe you could loop him, and then Manor is the one I'm probably, out of the 6 names, the one I'm most interested in.
Jordy?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that's right to go as well. Option 2.
So Took in his last, Took since the mid-season bye went 131, 89, 92, 33 against Collingwood when he got injured fairly early on. He played 24% tog, right? So 33 points in about a quarter was good. Obviously, then he came back and has gone 94, 115, 105. So he's just getting it done. That first game back, he scored a 94 from 62% tog. Was against Richmond, but yeah, I actually don't mind the Took shout. Can't get right up to the 900k guys. I think Took could be a good play. So yeah, I think looking at those, I think I'm there. But I do like Finn Callahan this week. Stinker Fusion, adding to my question, I've already got a lot of popular players, so would need to bring in a more unique option like Heaney, Callahan, etc. Well, Heaney's the first one out of those ones that come to mind that I think could be quite big. So I think I'd be going there, not knowing the rest of your team. Shady Force, I'm trading Vlosten. Oh, geez, that's a tough one. Trading Vlosten and McRae for mana and any player. Money isn't an option. Okay, well, that's at least good. I have the likes of Nasai, Shees, the main Cats boys, but no Swans. I'm thinking Whitfield, though, with 164k still banked. Yeah. Is Jordy, would you go, could you go Whitfield or would you go Heaney? You've got the cash there. Do you go Whitfield against the Saints, who, like we saw what defenders do against the Saints, or are you going for Heaney, who's got that ceiling?
So he said he had Sheasel and
he's got Shees, he's got Nasai. He said the main Cats boys, so no Swans. So he's got like Jezza and Baz and Myers and guys like that.
Yeah, I think Whitfield's pretty safe. Like, he's basically not turned up. Well, since he came back from that concussion, he's basically gone at, what is it, he's 106 about that. So it's a pretty safe option, I think.
And you know what he hasn't done in a very long time? Gone big. And look at what Mason Redmond did to the Saints. So, I think Whitfield, if you don't have him and you can get anyone, that's probably the one I'd target.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whitfield's a great option, right? I just don't love
boring,
banking
isn't it?
100. I don't love banking 164k going into the last round. I know it does not matter in the slightest. You pick the best player.
No, it carries over to next season, doesn't it?
Yeah,
carries
don't
over.
Give anyone ideas. Pete, some people might actually believe you, Jordox, and then they'll go, where's my money missing? I don't know. It feels dirty to me.
Like real money.
It feels dirty. Like it does. I don't know. I do like Heaney though, but Whitfield's a good player as well, right? I think Whitfield's a great option. I would say, could you get more expensive for? But I guess if you've got all the main guys and Manners there, then it's probably that. So Whitfield's a good option. I do like Heaney as well, along with Errol. Casey Johns, hi guys. I've 22k and Mills, Rosie, and Sinclair as 23rd primo. Do I downgrade Boxall to a 230k rook and get McRae or Jackson to Cameron or Manor, or trade two above primos and get Goulden or Nando? Jordy, I don't know about you. I think. I was going to go Jordy, but I'll go Jordox because he spoke. I like the first one, going box, just get that cash off the bench and go McRae to Manor. That'd be what I'd do. You're in agreement with that?
Yeah.
I agree too. And then you can loop and you get to see a score. I like that better.
And you look at Mills, got West Coast, think he goes well there. Rosie got Gold Coast, and you probably can loop him as well, playing on the Friday night. And then Sinclair's been good, right? So I know he had a lower one last week, but the two games he scored lower were when he got tagged by Constantin, tagged by Guelphy. I don't see GOS tagging, so I think he goes all right.
Hey, Jordy, sorry, before we move on, I didn't watch any Carlton Port. Did Cooper Lord go to Butters or Rosie before he went down?
He went to Butters. But it was,
what the hell was Rosie doing?
Yeah.
Just one tackle.
And he was plugging
just a bad game.
Bad game. And it was just basically like that whole tennis ball thing, just sort of going over his head. He wasn't in the right spot. Had to go back, take a few kick outs, and he was forward a bit, and he just wasn't around it.
He's had a bit of stuff going on too, rubbish stuff about his personal life. But I wonder if that affected him. I reckon he can come out and smash it this week. Say goodbye to Boki, say goodbye to Kenny, captain of the club, coming on the back of a really poor performance. I would be surprised if Rosie was really big this week.
Yeah,
agreed. Also listening to Rosie on 5AA as well. He said that next year, they asked him, where do you think Josh Carr will play you next year? So this is more a next year sort of thing here, is that he said he thinks that mix of halfback and midfield will be there, but he knows that Josh Carr loves playing at halfback, obviously back from their North Adelaide days. So for me, his average is down to 102. And Jordy, I know you talked about it, how he was averaging essentially round 14 post then he was he was averaging 109.3, and even round 17 averaging 108.2. So feel like there's a chance we could be starting him as like a D1 next year as like a guy that could go 105, 110 in our defense. So just something to keep an eye on as well, and some good signs for Rosie potentially for next year. Tim Ashworth said he reckons it'll be a Cats Crows grand final, and I think he's flexing because he's saying he's ranked 27th. So, mate, you've had a great year. Keep smashing it. Hopefully you can have a good last game of the season. Casey, he said he's also got Brayshaw and McCluggage. I think McCluggage you're holding. I think McCluggage is going along all right. And then Brayshaw, like you could trade, but I think McRae's a bigger priority to matter. And I still think getting Boxall down to 230k rook is where I'd probably be leaning to, unless it's a player around Brayshaw's price you're pretty keen on. Cherosh's got another super chat. He's saying, I'm playing Mitch in my league. Any ideas? Well, firstly, good luck in your league matchup. But as we said before, like I'll have a look at your team in the Patreon Cup rankings. Hopefully that can help you, Tim. So, yeah, I'll be able to have a proper look through your team later on. Rom V says, trade out McRae or Daniel. Price difference doesn't matter. Geez, Jordy. Oh, I want to say buy to both, right? But where are you going?
McRae plays Sunday. Yeah, I think because he plays Sunday, and you just like, what if he's sub? I know he keeps saying it, and he probably won't be, but 55% time on the ground, like he's not even on the field.
No.
Yeah.
At least Daniel's on the field.
He scored 66 against Essendon, and I know it's from 55% tog, right? But you'd think he could still get to an 80 even in that time on ground. But I'm going him out. Daniel gets kick-ins at least. He's got at least a bit more of that there.
He was looking okay, Daniel.
Yeah.
He just had 4 points in the last quarter.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
I definitely don't want either, that's for sure. If Rosie goes 100, I can go Mills to Manus, says Casey Johns. That's fine.
Good.
You can definitely do that if you wanted to go there. Red lighting. I have no idea who to trade in and out. Who are the best players to have this round, and see how I can get it done. Well, red lighting, it's quite tough to answer because we don't know who's in your team, who you're looking at. Hopefully our chat from all these questions are giving you an idea of who we like, and hopefully there's some players that we've mentioned that you do want to trade in. Shady, we answered that one from Shady Force, I believe, unless there was anything different. No, that's the same one there. Cool. CV Daniel says, Zach Bailey, something to look at. So, Jordox, what are your thoughts on Zach Bailey? You might have had a bit of a look at this potentially in Finders Keepers, but had a bit of midfield time on the weekend. It looked very, very good. He certainly was one of the players that was a big reason why Brisbane won. Is there any interest in a Zach Bailey for the final game of the year with the fact that Lockie Neal will be out again? He scored a 124 last week with 28 touches, 10 marks, kicked 2 goals too. Any interest from you?
A little bit, yeah. And I did talk about him a bit on Finders Keepers this week. Just that long-term owners of Zach Bailey would be hoping still at this phase of his career that he could become a midfielder. Him and Levi Ashcroft both got some more centre bounce exposure this week and last week, and I think they'll continue that this week. So, yeah, I think he's an option, Bailey. I don't know how much he is though, just in terms of what's he at? 878.
878. It's quite expensive. He's got up there.
And what did he do the week before? Yeah, so back-to-back tons. With that extra midfield role. Yeah, I think you could go there. Why not? 1 week of the year.
Yep.
May as well.
Yep. I think you could. Big game. They need him in the mids, I think, to beat Hawthorn. He looked pretty good on the weekend. The last few weeks, for that matter. Rom says, any chance Danger can have a half-decent score of, say, 90 in this expected onslaught of points for the Cats? Yes, I'm very cash-strapped. I will say no, because Danger is the perfect player that if they're up by 10, 12 goals, 3/4 time, that'll be it. He won't play in the last quarter.
It just depends if he's
right now.
It depends if he's ordered a Souvlaki at halftime, because that's what happened the other week when he got subbed. He was on the bench, hoeing into a Suv. So it just depends on how hungry he is, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'd say no. I think that's too risky. But instead of just saying no, let's find another forward.
If you've got 100, if you've got 160k. Obviously, we mentioned Andy McGrubb for if you can get defender mid. But, yeah, if you get Boak at 701, I'd definitely be going Boakey because he ain't getting subbed out or playing limited game time, I don't think. He'll play as much as he can and go
well,
right. So
he's probably 600 is probably his max. So let's look at – you keep talking. I'll try and find another guy.
Yeah, find a couple of names.
600.
And Adams.
Who?
Not if Grundy's playing. Not if Grundy's playing.
Nah, you can't. I
Oh,
know.
Adams.
Nah.
Grundy, if Grundy doesn't play because he's listed
If
as a
Grundy
test, and
doesn't
they
play.
if they just go Grundy, there's no point going over last game of the year. Just have the rest and everything like that. And Laddams was solo, then go Laddams. But
I'll be launching if Grundy's out.
Yeah, I'll be going him over any of those Cats boys. My goodness.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could endorse going Laddams over a Manor or something like that. But maybe it's round 24 can try some interesting ones. That's for sure. Defenders, bro. Should I go Max Hall to Jezza, McRae to Nando, or McRae to Heaney? Well, could you do two of the trades there? What's Max Hall been doing? I think that's the question. What has he been doing? He's 78K, got a 73 last week, 74, 60, 79, 72, 73, 124. Nah, I think he's the one that still goes, even though McRae I don't want. But if you can do two of the trades and go Hall to someone and McRae to someone, I'd be doing that. That'd be what I'd be doing. But yeah. McRae to Heaney, though, is a massive, massive upgrade. That could be the one that you go. Max Hall to Jezza as well is a big upgrade. So probably one of those two. I'd probably say defenders, bro. And also, what are you guys' thoughts on a Nick Dacos trade out? Jordy?
Yeah, I saw that before.
He went 157 this game last year.
Yeah, what?
Just the Langdon. No, it's a Langdon tag. They did it last time, but that was a good one.
Yeah.
Do they with Troy Chapman? Do they do it again? I don't know.
I don't think
you can.
Yeah.
It did work. They nearly won, right? They were right in the game.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's a trade out.
Maybe you loop. If you're worried, could you just loop? I don't know.
I'm sure we'll hear something about it pre-game, right? We'll hear about it pre-game, right? If they're saying we're definitely tagging him, then
they'd have to. They'd have to. That was such a good tag, and that really rattled him as well. I think they will. But I just think Dacos is sort of player that tag him once, well done. He'll learn from it and he'll smash it the next time. So
we saw Windhager do essentially what Langdon did, and Langdon tagged him first. He struggled that one, but then he played Windhager and he still turned up. Yeah. So I wouldn't trade him out. Nick can go to half back. He can go forward, go in the mids, he can go anywhere. So yeah, it'll just be interesting to see if they do that. So just something to watch. Maybe you could look at a loop, but I partly hope he doesn't have a massive game because as a Crows fan, I'm hoping Dawson has a massive game on Saturday, gets the 3 votes and gets his. It's going to be a good Brownlow count. I'll tell you what, Nick Dacos, Noah Anderson, Jordan Dawson, Matt Rao. There's some guys up there that going to be very, very interesting. Nasai, what if he makes like a late charge with some big 3-vote games? That'll be
he'd have to. I know they didn't win as many games, but hey, just for the guy who was looking at Dangerfield, if you can find 50K, I'd be more comfortable having a crack at Hugo Garcia for the Saints. They're playing him in the guts, 2 tons in a row, big tackling game, and I'd have more trust in that than old Danger Pants.
Good shout. I like that one. Andrew Domahidi, thoughts on Josh Dacos into Jordan Dawson and Sam Darcy to Gunston? Don't think I'd be doing the Dacos out. Dawson's a great in, Andrew. And I don't know if I'd do Darcy to Jack Gunston. What I'd do, Andrew, if you've got the cash, I would go rookie down and I'd go someone else up and go get Dawson in that case. I'd probably look at doing some of that. But hey, shout out to Jack Gunston. Like 33 years of age, career best year. Like we've seen some forwards do this. Like Tom Hawkins a few years ago had that 60-plus goal season. Tex, literally, his age 33 year, I think it was as well, or 32, had kicked the 76 goals or whatever. Still disappointed he didn't get the Coleman that year. Thanks, Charlie Curnow. Couldn't win any more. Couldn't do it to Tex. But yes, no, Jack Gunston's been great. And I think he's probably all-Australian the way he's played, I reckon. So
second in the Coleman.
Yes, exactly. Dylan James on trading Rankin to Myers and Darcy to Manor or Chad Warner. Which one? Or instead of trading out Darcy, do I trade Rosie or McCarthy? So, Jordy, where would you go here?
No, I think go the 2 Geelong boys. Yeah. Manor and Myers. Perfect.
Yeah. Instead of trading Darcy, though, would you trade Rose? I'd trade McCarthy over Darcy, I think, because you can loop probably a few guys there may look rosy. Whereas McCarthy, I'd rather have the chance of a Darcy ceiling game than McCarthy personally. Would you trade McCarthy over Darcy?
Yeah, if you can get to it, because you're probably not going to have Would he have McCarthy on field? I assume he's on field, or is it looping?
Could be a loop. If it's on field, I think it's definitely McCarthy. If it's on the bench, it's a conversation. But I think I'd probably go McCarthy out either way if you can go. Obviously, Rankin's got to go, regardless of what happens. He'll be missing this week. So I'll be doing that one. Casey Johns, who wins Hawthorn Brisbane? Oh, it's a good question. Actually, that's no, we'll answer that because there's a few questions underneath it, which will go. Actually, I'll get your boys' thoughts. Who wins out of the two big Sunday games? So we'll go around the room. Who wins, Bulldogs or Freo? Jordy, we'll go to you. We'll sort of go from bottom and work our way around.
I think Dogs. I think Dogs win.
Jordox?
I reckon Freo. It'll be a big moment for them. They'll do it.
Yeah. I think Marvel just puts me in on the side of the Dogs. But if I could see Free getting it done. If Hayden Young's test, he'd come back in. I wonder if they try and get. Well, they probably got to rush it back, right? Like they got to try and get the final. So, it'd be interesting. And then Hawthorn Brisbane, Jordy, who wins that one? That's a top 4 one.
I think Brisbane. They look awesome. Zorko's 300th. Hipwood, I think, 250th. No, 200th. And I think it's Cameron's 250th. Big night,
Hipwood's
Sunday
out.
night. Oh.
I saw Hipwood's injured. Did I see? Where did I hear that?
No, you're right.
Did I imagine
So
that?
it'd just be the two of them, Cameron and Zorko.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a big night. Home ground, I think I'll go with the Lions.
Jordox?
Hawks have been unreal, but Brisbane have dropped 4 games at the Gabba this year. I'd be staggered if it was 5. So I think just on that, they'll edge them. But how good? And you know what? The AFL cops a lot of shit for its scheduling and for its fixturing and this floating round 24. I've never liked it. I don't like anything that's not the regular. But to do this and put those games on Sunday, I just can't bloody wait. Sunday Arvo into Sunday night. 2 massive games, huge fantasy ramifications for the grand finals I'm in, but more importantly, huge ramifications for the real stuff. I just think it's exciting, and bring it on.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Lions will get it done at home, but Hawthorn, the team's not currently in the top 4. I probably think they're playing the best footy out of those sort of 5, 3, 8 at the moment. I think they're really, really good at the moment. So, I think they were probably a Massimo D'Ambrosio goal away from beating the Crows. I think if you put that goal through, I think they would have won that game. So just those moments. But I think that Hawthorn.
He didn't, Bales. He didn't.
Yeah, which I'm happy about. But I'll go Brisbane just. Let's keep answering these questions. Still getting some questions in. So even though it is the end of the year, people still are getting their questions in. So we appreciate everyone still tuning in at this point of the season. Ken Mason, who's playing better at the moment, Hawthorn or Brisbane? I think we probably touched on that a little bit, but I think both are probably going along really well, right? Brisbane looked great last week. Hawthorn have looked good for a number of weeks now. So both, I think, are playing as good as each other. So it should be a cracking game Sunday night. Zakor Kader says he's 2025.
Sorry. Keep going, and then I want to say something after this.
Zakor says his 2025 Adelaide Crows year to win the premiership. Well, I hope so, mate. I really do. But obviously, we know that this whole ranking thing could be a big spanner for the Crows, but it may rally them. But again, I don't want to touch on that too much. We don't know what's going on with that, and we want to leave that to the side. We'll focus on fantasy. But yes, hopefully the Crows with their defense can get it done. Brad Owen, first trade is Rankin to Jezza. Second trade, who of McCarthy, Daniel, Jackson, Brayshaw to anyone. So Jordy, I think first trade Rankin to Jezza. Tick, good trade. Second trade, McCarthy, Daniel, Jackson, or Brayshaw. Who goes? I think it's one of the first two.
Daniel
over McCarthy.
Yeah,
probably say so. I reckon if you can get them to the same person.
McCarthy's got this incredible role. But he's
Seagulls and Kiggins.
What I find his keepers, check it out. But I said he had 41% centre bounces and took nearly 50% of the kick-ins. It's incredible. He's taking
That's Jack Sinclair, like Jack Sinclair type role.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh man, I love it.
I'd keep McCarthy over Daniel, I think, for last game. Just get rid of Daniel. I feel like he's been the guy that stayed too long.
Can I question the merit of trading Jackson ahead of Daniel? So you got an extra 128k.
He's not happy.
I know, but I don't know that score on the weekend, and especially if Young's back, that's less midfield times. I don't know. I just feel like
they need to go back to Jackson starting in the ruck. So Darcy's been starting.
I think Jackson's fine, and this is the reason why. There have only been 3 games this year where Jackson has gone below 80. And those 3 games against the Dogs, where he got injured during the third quarter and didn't play for the rest of the game, he was going along well. Think Kilda, first game back, and that was the game that Saints blew them apart, and Freo did nothing. And there was a game where Bolton had like 3 or 4 touches and didn't do anything. He's still sort of 66, which, to be fair, wasn't too bad when Brayshaw, Sarong both went sub-80. And then the game on the weekend against Brisbane where they got badly beaten. I still think Jackson is still fairly safe for an 80. So I'm probably still fine keeping him. But I get your point, Jordox. I think it is a good point that with the Young back, Darcy take more ruck time, there's probably just not as much free ball for Jackson. But he looked great against Port, even just as a roaming midfield around the ground. So hopefully he can get back to some form there. And Brad, to anyone, obviously we've mentioned some good options. You got the Geelong boys, you got obviously a couple of Sydney guys there as well. So hopefully one of those guys you do like. Zach Martin, Rosie and McRae to Warner and Mills for the Eagles matchup, or trade Zorko instead of Rosie. I don't know if I'd be trading either Zorko or Rosie.
I wouldn't trade I wouldn't trade Zorko.
Yeah, I think McRae out's good. McRae to Warner's fine.
I wouldn't be trading into Mills.
Yeah, I wouldn't be trading in Mills. He's capped at like a 110. I don't think he's going more than that, really. And I wouldn't be going Rosie to like McRae to Warner and then Rosie or Zorko to Mills doesn't make. I wouldn't be doing that, Zach. I think we'll probably tick off the McRae to Warner, but maybe second trade we'd be doing something else. Dylan James Bales, is there any watch songs this weekend? Dogs and Freo would be big. Dogs win by 70. Geez, that's a 70. That's a hot take, I reckon. I don't know if they're going to win that by that much, but hey, who knows? I guess we'll see, right? It's just tricky with watch songs at the moment because there's AFLW going on, and part of me's tempted. Like Thursday night, I won't be doing a watch song for that. I'd rather watch the well, I know there's no AFLW on Thursday night, but I don't know. Carlton and Essendon, don't know if I want to do a watch song necessary for that game. Guess we'll see. Maybe Friday night, a couple of games on the Friday, and then maybe we do Saturday night. But I guess we'll see, right? Well, I'll keep people tuned in with the watch longs and what we'll be doing.
Hey, Bales,
yep.
Can I go back to Rom V, because I told him instead of Danger to look at Garcia. He's 5K short of Garcia. So I wanted to give him one more, and this is really getting out there. But Zach Williams has been playing nice little bits and pieces in the middle.
And the Bombers.
If you can loop him and they get on top of Essendon and have a real fun time, maybe he's the one. But
over Danger. Yeah.
You know who I would have said? It would have been friggin' perfect if it wasn't for Ollie Wines. Cooper Lord, man. He was on track for another ton. He's at 645. He would have been perfect one to do. And he would have probably gone to Merritt, who I'm against in my Dream Team Grand Final. Anyway.
But that's the big reason why.
Anyway, moving on.
Sultan says McKercher to Took or an 880k player and Rankin to Jezza good. I think so. Jordy, would you tick those off? McKercher to Took and Rankin to Jezza? I think I'd tick them off.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
To go ranking up. So
the only other one, so 8K. So you got Tom Green there. Bales.
What was that? Sorry.
You got Tom Green.
No. Took's definitely over Tom Green. Tom Green couldn't score 100 points if he started on 99.
The other one is Jack Steele, because you go Jack Steele. It's probably one of those three: Green, Steele, or Miller.
I think Tuke's the one playing the best footy, and the Port matchup, I think, is better than the Giants matchup for Jack Steele. But Jack Steele's turned up in his last two. His tackles are there. Like, Steele, the last 2 weeks is performing like what he was before the last couple of weeks. So, could be Steele.
He's just a little bit out of the midfield at the minute, Steele. I don't know what they're doing with him. A little bit forward.
Yeah, maybe go Tuke. Tuke's probably the safest one, I think, if you're looking there. Rom says, it's slim pickings for forwards in that lower price bracket. Thanks to the tip, Jordox on Garcia, but 5K short on him. Ouch. Oh, damn it. That's annoying.
Yeah, that's
so
why.
maybe,
I
Zach
read
Williams.
that. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Dylan D'Agostino says, Brayshaw or McKercher out?
Do you think it's Kirch with the tough matchup?
It probably is, but McKercher's got kick-ins. Brayshaw, a bit like Tom Green, just not hitting tons. But McKercher, besides a couple of those bigger 120s when he's taken marks, he hasn't necessarily gone massive, right? And go McKercher. Crows isn't a good matchup for defenders, I don't think. He'll probably have like 30 touches, but he'll probably have like 2 or 3 marks. I'd go McKercher, I think, to get the ceiling of potentially Brayshaw if he shows up. Has traded in LDU for his 162 last week for Holmes cover. So he obviously looped LDU. That's very nicely done. Can you trade a bloke that went 162 back out? You can? Yeah. Why not? Yeah. A few people might be looking at that with maybe Tristan Cherry this week. Maybe they want to go get Grundy. Maybe they want to go get English or Marshall, and they go, well, Cherry's got a rob. So I think you can. He made a lot of cash last week. So, you definitely can. Defenders, bro. Thanks, boys. Also, which two to captain out of Baz, Goulden, Dawson, or Heaney if I decide to go for him? Well, a couple of days early on captains. Normally, we don't do those till Thursday. But I can tell you right now that I have not done my top 10 yet. But Baz will be in the top 5. Goulden will be in around the mark. Dawson will be around the mark. And Heaney will be around the mark. So probably doesn't give you much in terms of that. So
Baz.
Jordy.
Baz.
I think Baz, you've got to give. I think you've got to VC Baz, Jordox.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're saying. I think it's VC him. So it means you're probably ruling out Dawson because he plays first. Is it Baz into Goulden or Heaney for you?
What about Sheasel?
No, not over Baz. Not over Baz.
When was the last time Sheasel put up a big score? I don't know. Yeah.
And what's the when you put a big one up, I wonder what, when Tom Mitchell got his 54, what did he do the next week? Did he get more attention or?
When Tom Mitchell was doing that, he was doing 40 on a bad day. But I get your point. The Crows won't. They come down. Yeah.
Crows won't take Sheasel. I just think that Baz against Richmond at the MCG could be massive.
He could do
look what Sheasel did. Look what Sheasel did, right? And I think Baz could rest the last 5-10 minutes on the bench if they're up by a bit, but he could be on 140 by that point. I think you got to do the VC. Yeah. Is it Goulden or Heaney as the captain? Because he said which 2 of the 4, so it could be for he's just looking at these 4. Heaney's in the better form, I think. Besides last week,
yeah, I'd go Goulden. I think
I would as well.
Yeah.
Because by that, hopefully that Heaney did.
Yeah, hopefully Baz does enough. Don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
but I agree.
Yeah. Sultan, McRae to Garcia and Rankin to Jezza, or McKercher to Tuke, or 880k playing Rankin to Jezza good. Oh yeah, we answered that before, Sultan. Yep, I think don't love McRae to Garcia. It's probably very sideways, even though McRae's not having great time on ground. I think I'd probably still go McKercher. Actually, would we go McKercher to Tuke? Or would we go McRae to Garcia? Because Rankin and Jezza were ticking off. Is it McRae to Garcia or McKercher to Tuke?
I'd go... Oh, God, that's weird. I'd go McRae out. I don't know if it'd be Garcia.
Yeah.
Why is he going McRae down to Garcia? Is it to fund the other move? That's
I wouldn't be doing that. Yeah.
No.
If you're going Rankin to Jezza, like Rankin is priced at... Let's have a look. So Rankin is 807. Jeremy Cameron is 876. So you need nearly 70k there. If you go McRae down and let's say you got no money in the bank, get you into the sort of what's that, 770 area in the forward line.
Yeah, there's options there.
Who are they?
Bokey.
I don't know. Boke. I don't mind Harry
Yeah,
Mackay.
Actually, I was
Thursday
literally
night.
just about to say him, Harry Mackay. If you got like 10K in the bank, Harry Mackay against the Bombers could be a bit of a show. That could be a fun one. Go McRae to Mackay and Rankin to Jezza. Go a couple of key forwards in some big matchups there if you want a bit of fun. Even like someone like a Neil Bullen, if you want to take a stab against North Melbourne, could be someone that could put up a solid score. It seems like a game that he would really suit.
And Levi Ashcroft as well. I know that's a bit weird at 710K, but yeah, they're just having a look at him in the middle with Neil out. And what's he done the last two? He's gone
77 and 100.
Yeah, Hawks will be tough, but yeah. But there's some names for you.
We had a couple of questions that were just here, so we'll quickly do rapid fire to finish up because I didn't realize we are at the hour mark. So let's get through these. So Bartlow could also go Boak and Heaney or Dunkley instead of Took and Manor. So Boak and then Heaney or Dunkley or Took and Manor?
Took and Manor.
I think so as well. Jordy, you agreement there or?
I'll go Boak and Dunks.
I feel like I'd go. Would you go Heaney over Dunkley this week though for the matchup?
Yeah,
or do you think
I like
the matchup for Dunkley could be good against Hawthorn.
Yeah, I just think Dunks is the top. He's like top 4 mid, I think, on the year. I don't know. I just like him coming home. But yeah, I think go with who you like with this last round. I think I like those are the players that I sort of drawn to. So yeah.
Also, Wine's failed, so he's out for 3.
There you go.
Stiff for 3 weeks, but that's the parameters that we've set with the tribunal. Hopefully that gets fixed next year. John Noble a trade out? Says DJ. Potentially. If you haven't got anyone else to trade in your team, I think he makes sense to trade out. Right? He's had a lower one on the weekend.
I was on Keeper Pod last night, and Hef made a really good point. Apparently, McEntee in the side for Port, he's been doing a bit of a defensive job, and he did it on Sard, and Sard got 28 points.
26, yeah. Nearly cost me a draft prelim, that one.
Yeah, and he had like 6 or 8 kickouts in that 28. So he reckons he's doing a little bit defensive role. So he probably would go to Noble. So I think he is a trade out.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think he's a trade out. Has just a flag on McCarthy. Genuinely think you could get the Jordan tag. Lol.
Maybe
not. You could. You could. Cameron v Manor. Says Casey Johns. Cameron v Manor. Do you go Jezza?
I reckon.
Just against Richmond.
I've been Manor with almost every single question tonight. But I think in this one, I think those that jumped on Jezza early, chasing the 100, went too early. I think he's going to go big this week and make up for it. And he did this 12 months ago. In the last round, he went big, and it was similar.
Could you VC?
When do they play Saturday? You
could definitely
instead
VC
of
if you want
instead of Baz.
You definitely could. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yep. There's no Neil. They're already just looking for him. Now they're just looking for him. So no Vlogton,
or do Richmond do what? Do Richmond try and do what Eston do, where they're just like, let's just play multiple guys on him and like, let's just play. I think I don't know. I'm assuming Bolt will play this game, being a 4:15 game. I think that if he goes to him, that could be interesting.
That curfew's over, by the way. It's been over for a while. But
is it? Oh, I'm sure. It could be. Could be. Yeah. Ken Mason says Hawks are chasing Harley Reid and Zach Butters. Who would you choose to join the Hawks? Oh, if they get either of them two or even a Petrarca, that would be, I think, very, very good for them. I think they're one star midfield away from really being set for a really pretty complete team, I think.
Harley Reid, for sure.
A few people trying to get us to talk about the ranking stuff, but we'll leave that alone. Has got an AFLW fantasy question. I'll answer this one because Jordy and Jordox have taken the season off. Schultz and Stanner out or Rowbottom out for cash cows? Cheers, Bales. That is a good question because I've been tossing up that exact one this week. I think Stannett's probably got to go just because she didn't have any CBAs. But in saying that, could you go row bottom down to potentially a painter, stand it to Goldsworthy, and then go get one of the other cash cows in a Havana Harris or Aaron Fitzpatrick? That would be what I'd probably say. But you just know if you trade row bottom out, she's probably going to go 120, 130, right? So that's I've thought about Riddell or Gardner out this week, and I know in fact the which one I'll trade out will go 150. Final two questions here, defenders, bro. Do you guys think Callahan will get the tag from Windy? I'd probably say no, he hasn't tagged for a while, Windy, and playing some good footy. Could be his last game for St Kilda. Who knows?
Yeah, I think Jordox, man, Garcia has been the one doing a bit of more of a defensive role in there, I think, over Windtaker. So
yeah,
it might be a little Garcia on Callahan, I think.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. And final question, DJ's specifically asking for Jordox. He's saying Jordox, Mana or Goulden?
I'm just trying to think of the best manner of speaking to say this one. Go Mana. There you go.
Luke will be
Finish
Luke
the
will
year
be
with
happy
an absolute
Luke will be Luke from Ball Boys will be very happy with that one. I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good way to finish. And I reckon that'll wrap us up as well. Has saying, love your work, fellas. Good luck this week. Can't wait till it's over. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. But we will wrap up on that note. But we will go.
I feel that.
Love
your work. Good luck. Can't wait till it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dylan said, surely fantasy let us use the money left over from this year to next year. Well, Jordox, mate, you've started
what
already.
They do, no, I was being so what they do, you can convert it to crypto. So you can just do it that way. There we go.
Don't get people excited, Jordox. But that we'll go through our final time for on Tuesday Q&A for what we're looking at doing with trades this week. And Jordox, I'll go to you first, mate, because I want to see if you got your trades prepared, ready to go, just to lock them in and sign R for the year for trades. But what are you doing this week?
Well, no, I'm not prepared. But I reckon I've talked myself into it. I mean, I forgot Rankin's there. So Rankin's got to go. I reckon I'm getting Jezza. Let's go. I reckon it'll be big. And then the other one can be, I would like to get rid of McRae. I wonder if I could go. How much is Mana? Sorry.
930.
And Jezza. Just working it out now if I can do it. No, I can't. Rankin to Jezza and then something else. I'll work it out during the week.
Yeah, don't mind it, mate. Don't mind it. And Jordy, your trades.
I've been playing around. I'm actually potentially going to get Andy McGrath for Tom McCarthy, who's my 23rd. And that'll just be a loop. And then my other, because I've got heaps of money in the bank, I'm thinking about then trading Jordan Clark to either Goulden or Myers.
Yep.
So I get one of those guys and then I get to loop. But yeah, I'm not sure.
I reckon that's it. Rankin and McRae to McGrath and Jezza. Let's do it, Jordy.
Yeah.
Get Andy boy.
Let's send it.
Yep.
And like VC Jezza.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Jordy, you probably need to look at doing something like that, right? Just need someone to get like 170, just see if you can get top 100 and see how you go, right? Final
and
round.
if McGrath can go 120 or something against Carlton, loop, perfect. High CBAs, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Jordy's potentially dreaming of coming from the clouds to get his hat, so we'll have to see.
Jordy.
My trades this week, Caleb Daniel to Goulden's pretty much locked. I don't see me changing that at all, which puts... I've got Josh Dagos and Connor Rosie as my 23rd primos sort of looping. I'll take the best score between the two because I've got Charlie Edwards as my red dot loop on the bench, unless he comes in. But I've got Angus Hasty and I've got Mentha and I've got River Stevens. So I've got players there. North Melbourne, Adelaide, St Kilda. Don't bring all these guys in and screw me over this week. That's all I'm going to say. And then my second trade at the moment, I've got Andy Brayshaw to Isaac Heaney. I'm just chasing that big ceiling potentially from Heaney there, but I have also looked at Petrarca to Mana. That's been the other one, but I can probably loop Petrarca on Friday night and see how he goes. So I can loop 3 players if I want to. So yeah, currently Brayshaw to Heaney is where I'm currently leaning towards. But I guess if Petrarca fails, right? I'll have to probably bring in a forward, so it could be Jazza that comes in. But that is that'll wrap us up. There are a lot of people saying thanks as well. So Defenders Bro, thanks boys. Hope you'll do this next year. Don't worry, mate. We will be for sure. DJ said, good one, guys. I'm trying to get excited for my conversation final. Case Johns, thanks, legends. Golf Alien, thanks, guys. So yeah, beautiful. Now, thanks everyone for tuning in.
What else
as
did Golf
always.
Alien say?
Hey, what
else did Golf Alien say down there? He's a weird unit. Golden shower time. Why?
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap up on that note. But Jordox, mate, where can the Pill find you across the socials? Where can Pill find the Finders Keepers podcast? And potentially for the final time, where can people find the AFL Subs and Late Changes account?
Yes, so Jordox at Jordox 2020 is me on X, at AFL Subs. And I saw what Caro Wilson said, the subs gone for next year. So this will be the last week of the subs account. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it not being a thing next year. As much as I've enjoyed doing it for the last year and a half, it's a lot of work to be on it all weekend. And shout out to Eloise and Liam, legends who did it with me.
Shout out to obviously you, Jordox, and obviously Eloise, good friends of the show, Eloise and Liam, for doing that. It's been very, very great for just turn notifications on. I haven't opened up the. I can't remember the last time I opened up the AFL app to look at the subs, just because I'm just like, yeah, I'll get notification when I need to. And
just think of me every weekend, every game, refreshing. Go. And then of course, Finders Keepers. We'll have our last episode next week. Had one out today.
Still got the comp as well.
Still got the comp. Yep. So running a comp. We got a vacancy in a keeper league I play in. So we need someone to take over a vacant side. So I've got a competition over at Finders Keepers. Go over to @FindKeep AFL on X to find out and tune into the podcast. And probably last time you'll see me on the Fanatics. I'm not sure if I'll get up for Sunday night. So if this is my last hurrah, thank you everyone.
We're doing it on Monday. We're doing it on Monday night.
Oh, Monday. All right, good.
Yeah.
I'll save farewells. Although I might be doing Finders Keepers. Anyway, whatever the case, thank you everyone that tunes in, writes in. You guys are the fanatics that make this show what it is. So well done on another long season.
Thank you, mate. Jordy, where can the Pill find you across the socials?
Just Jordan to Center on X and Spotify as well. So, yep. Keen for this last round as well. So, let's send it.
Yep. Exactly. And you can find me at BAILSDT across the socials and us at AFL Fantasy Fans on X. If you are doing AFLW Fantasy, obviously our round one review came out earlier today or on Tuesday. If you're listening back on the Wednesday to this here, so if you want to get our thoughts on the round one stuff and what me and Tom might be looking at doing with trades and stuff, then check that out. It's good fun having Tom on for the as my co-host for the season. And if you're tuning in live on YouTube or on the replay, like and subscribe would be very much appreciated from everyone there. And if you're listening on the pod, 5-star rating and review would also be very much appreciated. And obviously I'll be back on Friday for a pre-lockout chat at this stage. Not sure what time. We've got to work it out with when our AFLW pre-lockout chat will be and everything like that. So we'll see how we go. But obviously we'll be there. And then on Monday for our season sort of recap. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys later in the week. So thanks everyone. Have a good night. See ya.
See ya.